What's up guys, and welcome back to another Dark Draven video. Today I'm gonna be giving you guys that Attack on Reality tip slash beginner guide slash how-to video I promised you in my last video. And so yeah, today I'm gonna be showing you guys basically it's kind of a tutorial on how to get started in the game. You know, get your first kills. First thing I'm going to ask you guys to do, click play, hit tutorial, and scroll through this for a moment. It basically tells you how to do a whole bunch of stuff in the game. And then after that, pick whatever character you want, time of day. I like evening or night. We're going to go with night. So I'm going to keep full body rotation off for the first part of this, just to show you guys like basics and stuff like that. So before even putting the blades in, you're going to want to take these off your hip and probably explore a little bit of movement. And before I do that, since this is a tutorial, I'm just... No, I should be able to work without turning on infinite gas. No, I will be linking the Discord. There should be a link to the Discord in the description, because a lot of these guys up here will put tips and tricks and stuff in the Discord on how to do stuff like that. And there's this clearly marked section for it, so I'll be sure to link that so you guys can, get help from the best. So without further ado, the first thing you're going to want to learn is ODM movement. So, basic, you can hook onto things with your triggers, and so you hook, but you're going to want to reel in as well, which is what your grip buttons are for. Now, first, you're going to want to keep your thumb off the thumbstick for this, so that you don't use gas when you use the gas when you're not meaning to. And so hooking, you're gonna want to learn basic ODM movement first, because this is going to be the basis of what you're essentially doing most of the time. I mean, it's going to get much more complicated, but this is basically it. A lot of times you're going to want to hook high just to get to where you're going. Basic stuff like slingshotting forward using 2 trees. You can, something great about the physics system, you can actually pull yourself sideways using other trees. So as I just did, you can hook onto this tree. Usually that'll just pull you forward without gas, but you don't want to do that. So hook forward, and then you hook onto another tree, and that'll pull you to the side. So you can legit maneuver this game without having to use gas. It's just a matter of practice. But then the interesting part comes in when you start using gas. Note, you can look around using your right thumbstick, and a lot of people do this. Now, I know one of the top people, Akame, will sometimes move in real life, but it's recommended that you learn to turn using your thumbstick instead of turning in real life. You can turn in real life. You can turn IRL. not something I'm not recommending. It's just more advanced. Something more advanced. You're not gonna want to focus on until you get, basic stuff down. And turning in real, it's not advanced in such a sense that it's gonna be hard to do. It's gonna be hard to do it while combining it with what you're doing in game. So either way, then you're gonna want to get acquainted. After you're acquainted with basic ODM movement without gas, you're gonna want to get acquainted to ODM movement with gas, because with the gas is how you're gonna get most of your kills. Now, as you should have seen in the tutorial page, just holding down on it will kind of push you up. It's not going to push you up enough for thrust alone, but it's going to push you up. And that's just laying your finger on the thumb pad. As long as your finger is on the thumb. So basically, now, at first it might seem a little bit difficult to get these in here, but I found if you just kind of jam them in, there are two methods that usually work for me. Now the first method is usually just jamming them in there, which usually just works. And then the second method is taking them and moving them side to side until they just click in. Which is kind of what I did when I first started playing the game, before I started just jamming them in there. And then there's that. Oh god. Okay, there we go. Now, you're going to have to refill these every time they run out. And you do that by taking this, and refilling it. Just like in the anime. Now note, this can get a bit tedious and annoying sometimes, which is why eventually you're gonna want to work on being able to get around while using less gas, and then you're gonna want to work on being able to move around, being able to get kills in such a way that you don't use up too much of your blades. Either way, take out your sword, take out the handles, hold them over, hit Y, or for me it's Y, I'm on Oculus Quest, but hit Y or whatever the button is to clip in, and blades. Now, note, when you're going in for kills, unless you're doing a kill or a technique that specifically requires you to put the hooks on the Titan, you're usually going to want to put the hooks on a tree and then use your gas to maneuver around for everything else. Because, it's... I'll stop doing that because I will get distracted. But yes, you're gonna want to use the tree. You're gonna want to use the trees to hook onto and then use gas to primarily maneuver yourself around. Now, while you're primarily moving around, you can use short bursts at almost all the time. It's not gonna take up that much gas at all. But once you're coming up for the kill, that's when you're gonna want to use long bursts in order to tap fire yourself. Tap fire so you can get in, so you can line yourself up for the kill. Now note, for skims and such, you're gonna want to be in, where is it? You're gonna want to aim for that area right behind his neck. That's the area you want to aim for. Let's get an example of a different target. You want to aim for that small area behind the neck. And note, you're going to want to feather. You're going to want to feather the gas so you position yourself just right to get in there. So, there are other techniques that I'm not very good at for killing titans, because my playstyle doesn't really accommodate me doing stuff like that. Or the way I play isn't really good for doing stuff like that. Or because the way I play has me kind of moving faster than, like, if I'd have learned from the higher up guys instead of kind of figuring more out for myself, I'd probably play in such a way that where it would seem slower pace and not as smooth, but I kind of enjoy like smoothly chaining kills together. And note, sometimes when you cut, it'll take off. If you're doing it right, it's not going to take that much off every time. But when you do it wrong and you're not up to speed or you're too close, it's going to take a bunch off. See? Now, all you gotta do is practice that. Once you practice doing all those things, eventually, you'll get to a level where it shall become child's play to get kills. At that point is when you'll probably want to get into using full body rotation. Now, full body rotation is only going to be different in the sense that you can shift your axis. And shifting your axis affects everything. It affects... Note, there is a glitch or something that if you close that while it's reloading, it's just gonna hit a black screen and it's not gonna move anywhere. And that's because you're still just gonna be in the world with a black screen. So you're gonna have to, you're either gonna have to reset your game, or without seeing, you're gonna have to, while it's completely black, try to hit the reload level button again, and then just keep it open, because if you close it, it's gonna keep you in that screen. So now we're gonna turn on full body rotation. Now note, I am not very good at using full body rotation yet. Still trying to figure it out. But basically, the easiest way to kind of learn full body rotation is to put yourself up here in these two trees, and then clip your belt over there. It's gonna leave you here, and you can freely rotate without worrying about much. Now, the controls are basically like inverted flight controls. Hold back on the joystick to roll back. Hold front of the joystick to roll forward. Now this controls whether, now right to go right, left to go left. And then now the tricky part, at least for me, is you have to hold down in order to roll. You have to hold down and you have to turn your head to roll. Now, I've always found that to be difficult because my head seems to not want to be still, so I have to constantly worry about my head not being still enough for this while I'm trying to do it. And then there's times when I press it down and it's not moving. So you have to get the press down good, or else it's not going to do anything. And then you also have to get down being stable, and how disorienting having the roll be your head is going to be, because it will get annoying. But if you go up here, do this, practice maneuvers like this, you'll be flipping around like a pro in no time. I say no time, but it's gonna take some practice, of course. It's gonna take some actual going out there and doing it practice. Note, your boost, the direction of your boost doesn't change. Your direction of your boost is totally aligned to where your body is. So the boost that goes back is still gonna go back. It's just gonna go in the direction that is your back. So if I do this, it's gonna send me back upwards. If I hit up, it's not gonna send me that way, which is it's gonna send me the direction. It's gonna send me what up is according to the way my body is orientated. Your body is orientated in game. So be sure to be aware that it can get a bit confusing. But after a while, you start to get used to it. And then it gets super fun to be able to zip around and do what the fuck ever. You just have to figure most of this out as you're going around. But yeah, that's basically it. There are other maneuvers. There are tons of maneuvers that you can do. I'm not good at them because I'm still learning, but I told you everything I can. Everything else that you need to know, you should be able to get from the Discord, because that is where all the guys that are much more talented at this game than me, that are much better at this game than me, hang out. They also have a specific techniques section where you'll find in the pin specific techniques you can do, rebounds, frickin' a whole bunch of crazy shit that these guys are able to do due to fucking practice. But yeah. Thanks for watching, and have fun playing.